Hello, hello, hello. Hey, you guys. Happy New Year, Lips. It is your girl, Miss Mouthy. I am so excited to be here with you today. And if it's your first time tuning in, welcome to the Miss Mouthy podcast, where we center the narratives and experience of trans and non binary folks and the allies that love and support us. And so, with this episode, I wanted to entitle it um, New Levels, New Devils for the reason of I've been really realizing that as you come into a new place of self acceptance, a new place of arrival, a new place of just destiny in your own journey, that you will be tried in different forms and variations, whether that's friends, family members, relationships, coworkers, you name it. They're gonna try you. And not to say that anybody is a devil, like, oh, hordes, oh my God, evil. But I think it's the opposition of where you're currently going on your journey. And I had a really difficult time with recording this episode. How I normally the process in Miss Mouthy, I know exactly what I want to talk about. I know who my guests are. I know exactly what I wanted to do. But in this newness of my journey and realizing everything that's going on in my current journey, I'm realizing that this one freaks the fuck out of me for several reasons. It scares me because it's my truth. It is me being way more vulnerable than I ever been before. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that. Like, oftentimes in this social media stuff or on these platforms, we get so convinced that everybody has it figured out and everybody doesn't go through the same things. No, they do. They're just not highlighting that shit. And I just wanted to highlight it in a way that looks a little bit different, that challenge myself to get outside of my own self in my own head. And I think it's really important for me to just be honest and authentic. I have always been that, but in the way that, like, even when shit happens, you have to be able to own your shit and say what it is and move forward. And I want to do that not only for myself, but for anybody else who might be out there struggling with those type of things. I think it's important that in this time, especially in these relationships, we get on Instagram and we get on Facebook and we see all these couple goals and we see all the things that we want to experience at some point. It's hard to go through this human experience and not think that don't want to desire that personal connection and don't want a relationship with another person. And sometimes things don't work out the way that you intended them to. So, with that being said, I am going to address all the things that y'all did see on social media as far as like the video, the pictures of what I experienced when it comes to abuse and domestic violence. But before we get there, I wanted to just take a moment as we come into this new year to be very intentional that last year, a lot of people didn't make it into this new year. And so, with that, I want, and especially because it's so close to my heart when I was like in fear of thinking that I might not make it into the new year. So forgive me now. I'm a crier. If I cried throughout this episode of like experiencing things or reliving certain accounts, but it's honest. It's the honest God truth. Um, so let's take a moment of silence for people. We recently lost a young lady named Roxy Johnson here in Detroit. Anybody who knows Roxy know that she's full of life, very outgoing, and she's gonna be very missed and very loved. And so let's take a moment out for her family and her friends that is missing her. And also I struggle with recording because if y'all notice now, my name on Instagram has changed to Reclaiming Raquel for several reasons. But one, I was really struggling in my mental health when it came to my friend. I was dealing with a lot of grief. I had lost my friend Exotic and I wanted to do like this whole tribute. It was just kind of hard to get myself out of my own head and out of my own feelings. But then when you apply going through a personal relationship that takes you take your focus way off your own personal grief, it's hard. The shit was piling up. There was a lot of things going on. But I would just also like to send condolences out to her family And if y'all know, I put it on my YouTube page that I was gonna release the clip of me talking about grief and all of that, and I just have not got to it, y'all. So I hold myself accountable in that way. But it will be out on my YouTube page, Reclaiming Raquel, and you will see me in different aspects of myself, being able to accept myself for who I am in that moment, those things that are challenging, and the things I'm overcoming in the moment. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody who reached out to me during this difficult time, the encouraging words, the heartfelt messages, the phone calls. I received them all. I just needed a moment to process my current reality and everything that I was going through. And so, trigger warning to the audience. I will be talking about things. I always talk about shit that's not appropriate, or it could be sensitive or triggering. So I just want y'all to be mindful, but especially I want to be mindful in people who may have experienced DV or intimate partner violence. It is important that when we're talking that we're not re-triggering people. So that's never my intentions. That's not, if you do get triggered, please take a moment, go reclaim yourself or fast forward this part into a point where it's more palatable for you. So um yeah. So, like I said, I wanted to be more honest in this year and like moving forward. There was a lot of things in 2023 that, hell, hold on one second. And drink and drive responsibly, you guys. I feel like in this moment, um, one of the things Miss Mouthy is encouraging for y'all to like be mindful of your substance intake, no matter what it is, whether it's weed, drink, coke, whatever you do, just be mindful of it. And for me to reclaim this, my vice is always alcohol. Hopefully this will lead to endorsement one day. If not, hey, it's okay too. But to deal with this shit, oh, I need some rum right now. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. 2023 was a very beautiful year. And when I recall my highs, I had a lot of highs. I traveled a lot. I did a lot of things. It was a great year. I have no regrets all and through and through. No regrets about 2023. There was some very hard losses as well though. Like one of the biggest things I kept recounting is this moment of feeling betrayal, and sometimes betrayal can be a awakening of how you need to personally detach your emotions from every relationship that you have. Sometimes the betrayal is to push you in a direction for you to like become greater, become stronger. I'm not saying accept every betrayal as a great thing, but sometimes you just got to accept things and people for who they are and recognize that that is just a characteristic flaw. And so when I talk about certain things, I'm not trying to make anybody out to be a villain because I'm by far nobody's victim. I just want to be honest about what it is that I see, experience, and have gone through. So, 2023, I do have of June, one of the biggest losses I had was losing my friend Charm. And I didn't really get to process the loss of her throughout that thing because there was so many other petty components going on within our community. I feel like anytime, no matter who you are, there is a time and a place to address conflict. And at my friend repast, there was a young lady who wanted to confront me at the repast because we don't get along. And with that being said, that wasn't simply the time and place. I couldn't even wrap my mind around grieving. Not only before she interjected me, there was another female that I've never even met, had any issue, that never met nor had an issue with, that was also trying to create. I don't know what society we in now where we're creating this imaginary beef or a problem with people when simply it can be insecurity. You know, I knew I was looking like something. I'm not showing up to my friend going away thing and I ain't looking like she want me to look. Okay, baby, it was the purple hair. It was the lilac. Okay, I get it. But so after I did escalate that situation because I don't want to ruin my friend's repast, I walk right outside and I'm getting confronted by another female. And at the root of it all, it was all about a nigga. It's always about a nigga. So I couldn't wrap my mind around why would you want this to be a moment for you to put on an audience? I don't have no issue with you. The crazy thing is that people will literally want to make you out to be a villain and be a bad person, but they never mention all the good things that you've done to them. I don't have to highlight those, but you know those things. When you were hungry, you know who you called. When you didn't have lamps, you know who you called. I was definitely a friend to you. So that was one. But when you learn these devils, and when I mention these devils, these are just people and situations that you encounter that is on the polar opposite of greatness. If it does not encourage you, if it does not motivate you, if it does uplift you and feel like love, shit, it feel like the devil to me. I'm gonna call it a spade. But I feel like one of the biggest lessons that I learned, it first started when I was creating Mouthy. So when I say dancing with the devil, y'all hear me say that all the time. You gotta know the devil when which you dancing with. So the first one I wanted to do a little tango with was my child's father. Now, I've kept my lips off of him because that is my child's father. And we don't always agree and all the things. But that was the first devil that I encountered because the accusations that he made about me and my character when it came to my relationship to my child, how I show up as a mother, and recognizing that transphobia is so real with trans women being seen anything other than masculine or a man. He used that to his best advantage, and it was so embarrassing to just stay. I was silent. I was silent because I was too embarrassed to talk my truth. I was too afraid of the guilt that would come with people posing an opinion of it. And we still got 18 years plus out in this thing to be able to raise her together. So what would I look like ultimately coming and just like bashing him? And hell, I wouldn't imagine that it would be 4 years later that we still wrapped up in this custody battle. I wouldn't imagine that 4 years later you will still keep up with the same antics, knowing that time after time again, I've still been able to be nothing but authentic and a great co-parenter to you. In moments where you needed money, I've always been there. Every time you bring a new woman into your life and in my daughter's life, I've always been respectful to them, no matter how disrespectful they are to me. And that's where things get tricky because disrespect needs disrespect. So if you don't like me or any kind words for me, how do you possibly think you're going to be able to be around my child? Not going to happen. So fast forward, once you be able to, I don't want to say defeat the demon because we still in the custody battle, we still tangling. But 4 years later, I've been able to hold my shit together, knowing I was at my lowest, to know that depression was setting in, to know the things that this man had done to me, and I'm still here to survive it. That was great. That was within itself. Once somebody remove your child from you, everything else is off the table. So fast forward when you meet another man who thinks that they're going to put you back in that same space because it's something that happened. And that's my own accountability. I will take a lot of personal acceptance in saying, be careful, y'all, what y'all telling these people about your past relationships, your past friendships. Be careful what I say you feeding the demon, right? You feeding this devil all this information of what they need to form their attack against you. Be mindful of what you're giving these people. It may seem like they're concerned or they want to know about your past so they don't do you wrong. But really, I feel like my I statement, I feel like they use that as a marker to know how far you've allowed somebody to disrespect you and see how far they can up the ante. Okay. So, with that being said, went to Jamaica, had a beautiful time minding my business. What happens? My first love reach out to me. I'm a firm believer of if it's meant to be, it will come back to you. So I was like, who knows? This is what they mean when they say never circle the block twice. Okay, my ass then circled the block and went back to a man that when we were younger, he was not strong enough to admit, and we lived in a different time then. Like now, people are more accepting of transness and accepting relationships for love is love. But then Back then, they wasn't hearing that. All they knew is that that shit was weird and it was unspoke of, and you don't talk about it and you don't display it. So we had a rough time even trying to acknowledge or really form a real healthy relationship. It's hard to do that when you can't be open and out loud with your partner and your love for one another. Boom. Come back from Jamaica. We hang out. He says he's coming to town for Vegas, from Vegas, hang out with me. A lot of the things that were red flags to me, they came up. I was acknowledging of it, but I had no expectations. I think leading myself with no expectations helped me to not go into it automatically assuming that we were going to be romantically involved. I'm just thinking we catching up. We're about to hang out. Boy never leaves. Boys never leaves. And I kind of played it to like, oh, it's our chemistry, it's our connection. No. Sometimes these men are out here needing a place to stay. They're needing some stability. They're needing someone to mother them. Even though they claim that they don't want a mother, but need everything of a nurturing spirit, right? So I'm okay with that. I'm open to it. I love you. Don't got nothing really going on. Not dating nobody, not seeing nobody. So let's see where we can go with this and fast forward. I count because y'all know I like to make a long story short. So, long story short, we go out to my friend's ideal event with Dolls Night. If y'all have not known about Dolls Night, you need to get hip. It is one of the best events you can go to if you are trans or a non-binary person here in Detroit. It's kind of like a new club scene where we are trying to court, well, where they are, well, me, where they're trying to create more safe spaces for trans people and non-binary folk to just be in space and club in a safe environment. But we went out to Dolls Night. It was great. It was our first like official kind of event going out as a couple. It was great. My best friend came. Everybody kind of either seen him, met him. It was a great night. We was taking shots. I got so lit that he had to drive us home. Um, Great time. As we're leaving, he said, "Hey, you ready to go?" I said, yeah, because you know what that means. I feel like if somebody ever asks you, "You ready to go?" They ready to go. So I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. It was a cute little night. We don't gotta wait till 2. We can go home now." So as we're leaving, my one friend is pulling up, and you don't want to be rude to somebody who came to an event just to see you. So it's drizzling raining as we heading out, and I actually see the car is parked right in front of the club. So I walked there, and I'm not gonna get wet. So I got in the car, but we're blocking traffic. Literally, I'm like, "Thank you for coming. We about to leave. The party is still going." So I would suggest you like either park and take our parking spot or find your parking spot and go in and have a good time. So we're blocking traffic, a horn blows. We go around a circle around the block to clear up traffic. I'm like, take me back to my car because I just don't want no weird things. And that is a red flag. I feel like in relationships, when you have to hurry up and like associate yourself so it won't be a problem, or you're trying to like please another person, that is something to pay attention to. So I'm like, just hurry up and take me back to my car because I don't want him to get mad or upset or think I'm doing something weird. Why would you ever think I'm doing something weird and I brought you to a party with me? So as I'm saying this, my phone is ringing. Now my phone don't want to answer. I don't know. Old ass iPhone. You make what you will. So by the time I get back to my car, I get in the car. We pull off, no issues. Go to the Coney Island. The Coney Island is taking forever. We go to the other Coney Island, which is Parkside, and easy. We get our food lickety split. By this time, my best friend has already made it to our house with another bottle. We're going to continue tonight, continue to have a good time, bring in a holiday cheer, okay? Because by this time, now we're 2 days away from Christmas. And it was good. We get home, everybody started drinking. We're talking about the night, but it's this like little devilish twinkle he just had in his eye. Like every time he would keep bringing up, I felt like you was very disrespectful by getting in the car with another man. Me, anybody who knows me, I'm not really a big on like stroking a guy's ego. Like you feel how you feel. If I feel like I want to apologize, whatever. But if I felt like in that moment, if you brought it to my attention that you feel affected, even though at this moment we're not officially together, but I'm a pleasing your ego just because I don't want you to be upset. I don't want you to ruin the night, this vibe. And that was not my intentions. My intentions was never to make you feel disrespected or slighted. Like literally, you can't do nothing within 2 seconds of circling the block. Like I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm not that good, okay? But to say that, I was like, okay, that's not my intentions. I'm sorry if you felt that way. Boom, night goes on. We get back to a high point. By three or four more times of him reiterating this situation of me getting back in the car and him feeling disrespected, I go to bed because I'm tired. By this time, I don't know what time it is. I'm just like, I know I'm getting drunk. I didn't ate my little Coney Island. I'm ready to go to bed. I go to bed. My best friend is gonna spend the night. He lays out his pallet. They're talking. It was a moment I even remember going to sleep, y'all. Like I, I remember going to sleep because I was lit. All I know is he comes back into the bedroom and he is still dragging the situation on. So my best friend comes in the bedroom and he's just like, he's kind of being really aggressive with her. Calm down. She's a female. She apologized to you. Y'all gonna be okay. Doing what friends do. So I'm like, it's really wearing on you. Like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, maybe you should just come to bed and rest and we could talk about it tomorrow. Lord beholds, somehow we get in the living room because I'm trying to get away. I don't like confrontation. Anybody who knows me knows I'm trying to get outside of the situation. I don't want no ill will. I don't want no problems with nobody. So I'm in the living room by this time. Now his anger seems to keep turning to my best friend. And I don't know if that was that internalized homophobia. I don't know what it was. Another man being in the room, just feeling threatened. I just know you just kept edging at my best friend. Long story short, there's a physical altercation that happened. I'm in the middle trying to break it up. It just get crazy and chaotic. Now, by this time, he's running out of the door, down the hallway, threatening to kill me. And so for me, it's a real scary thing when we talk about violence that's inflicted by men who trans women are dealing with because it happens so often. It happens so often. Like on average, like let's just start to paint a picture. On average, there's 20 people per minute that's physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. Then when we break that down even more, 1 in 4 women, and then we have 1 in 9 men who experience severe intimate partner violence. So then 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 experience some point of physical violence with the intimate partner. And that could be anything from slapping, shoving, pushing. And we were seeing that. We were seeing the little things. And I'm like, is this really how you gonna give it up? We just had this best night. We're gonna do this. So by this time when he's threatening me violence, he's like, you just stay here. Watch what's gonna happen when I come back. I'm gonna kill your ass, bitch. So I'm like, who? Me? And he like, yeah, you bitch. Oh, one thing my mama taught me, you ain't gotta wait around to see what a man gonna do. You not about to you not about to tell me you gonna harm me. You're not about to show me you gonna harm me. I'ma believe you. I'ma take so I literally grabbed my purse, grabbed my dog, and we left. Lips, it did not dawn on me to get in my car, drive my car away from the scene. I just wanted to get the fuck ASAP. And so we left. When I tell y'all by the next morning, by the time we arrived to where we needed to be at in safe zone, it was 6 in the morning. When I went to bed and woke back up, I had a lot of missed calls from the police department. Well, which I found was the police department. But it was so much that had happened. My neighbors had already called because they seen him damaging my car. He had already called a second time to say that um we had jumped him. We had provoked him. I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't want to cause you no harm. I literally was trying to break up the fight. So About time I call back, they're like, "Oh, we need your statement. What happened, Miss Tramel? How do you know my name, sir? How do you know all of this had transpired?" But long story short, by the time I got home, y'all, my whole house was completely destroyed. Of course, I needed an escort to go in because he had already called me, still on that type of time, still saying he gonna put a bullet through my head. All of these things, just come on home. Yeah, yeah, just come on home. I'm gonna show you. You gonna leave with the nigga too? That's all he kept saying. You gonna leave with him too, and you not gonna see how I was doing? How I'ma see how you doing when you the one acting a fool? I'm not about to do that. You put your hands on somebody I care about and I love, and you think I'm supposed to stay here and cater to you? Not gonna happen. So by the time I walk into my apartment, everything is destroyed. Like everything is destroyed. The only thing that's still up is my Christmas tree, which is ironically crazy. And so at this point, a lot of things go into factor. You start thinking about, well, do I press charges? Do I say something? Do I say anything? Because nobody actually technically know me and this man had dealings. We didn't have dealings in the years, and people speculated it too. But even then, I was given grace. But this year, I ain't got no more grace. I don't got no more grace for nobody. If you say you're gonna harm me, if you that don't feel like love. The way in which you treated me that night, the way in which you do my thing, that's not the type of love I want to receive. And I think America has it fucked up to ever think that trans people have to accept the type of love or tolerance y'all try and give us. We don't. If that's not the type of love I want to receive from you, if it feel harmful, if it feel threatening, then I can pass on that. I have that right completely. So, with that being said, when I really think about it, situations like this happen all the time. And I'm like, how the fuck I'm gonna protect myself from a man who nobody knows I'm dealing with? And for the ones who do know, that want to believe it. Nobody believes it. Y'all are so fixated on this hyper masculine stereotype that it has to be something that the trans woman is doing to inflict this violence on ourselves. We are tricking these men, so y'all say. Y'all say that he didn't know. Y'all say that we had to do something where like tight lipped, we talk back, we're combative, we do all of these reasons versus just seeing the violence for what it is. Just that. And for me, I just don't want that. I didn't want that for myself. And I was like, it wasn't it's a fine line when people keep because all my inbox kept saying was exposed. You're exposing him, you're exposing him, you're exposing him. No, I'm solidifying my safety, my safety, my safety. My safety comes before his identity. Because guess what? If I'm dead, he's gonna go still fuck another trans woman. With or without y'all knowledge. But me, I don't get to live on. I don't get the happy picture. I don't get the marriage. I don't get the things that I desired that I may have wanted from that person. But what happens to the women that the violence have been inflicted on it? And I did in that moment decided that I wasn't about to be anybody hashtag. Like, and that it's no disrespect to anybody who passed before me. I'm just saying there's a difference when a woman don't know the violence come because we have this level of trust in a man that we're dealing with versus when you see the warnings, you see it. And I knew after I seen my whole place and my car what you're capable of. So that's all I needed to know, that you mean me no good. In any moment that you catch me alone, you're going to try and harm me. But I'm not about to be a hashtag. So if you do get the jump on me, my people will know who you are. They already have your information, and the people that I reached out to that was close to him, it was these men are suffering in ways that y'all are supposed to be their village. They lean to you for everything else, but they can't lean to you in that moment too. When they do some fucked up shit, y'all can't hold them accountable. You want to turn a blind eye to it? No, I don't understand it. I don't victimize myself into just not staying. I don't want to stay silent anymore. Like if you hurt me, if you do something to me, I gotta let you know. Because then that's when the stalking comes in. That's when homicide happen. A lot of the homicide cases is with people who intervening trying to like save or protect the trans person. When somebody finally do step up, I'm so appreciative of my friend to actually do something in that moment. But God forbid if my conscience was different. And you know what this man kept saying to me? Buy me a gun. Buy me a gun. Buy me a gun. I am so thankful that everything in me was not about to buy a man a gun because you're not about to sign my own death certificate. You're not about to pose me as the victim that I'm the reason why this happened because I loved you. When everything was going on in your life and you had nowhere to turn, I was your solace. I was the place that you came for comfort and peace. But and this year for everybody, like especially the girls, one, I know how this go. I would just encourage that if y'all see this man, please stay away from him. I know y'all like to get a little piece and a little taste, but don't fall victim to something that I was unaware of. Don't become a me. Don't let that be your reality. Hell, it doesn't even got to be him. Any man for that matter. The moment you see the red flags, get out of it. And I know that's saying harder than anything else, but I feel like your life is way more valuable than any relationship could ever be. Because you get that chance to offer yourself for somebody to love you completely and open and honestly, you know? And so I'm just so thankful that in this moment, I've been able to get through it. But one of the biggest things is that, like, those were the statistics for cisgender people, right? Imagine trans and non binary survivors. Their rates is double that. People that's trans and non binary fall victim to abuse at higher rates because of a few different things, like the sexual abuse component of it all. Sometimes we lead ourselves to believe that because we're in these relationships, that it's not abuse just because we love someone. But if you feel unsafe or it hurts and you say no, that's a sign of abuse. So keep that at the back of y'all forefront. Also the verbal violence of it all. Like there'll be moments a person can love a trans person, and up until the moment y'all have a disagreement, now my pronouns is automatically forgotten. Now you forget to respect me as the person that I've always shown you, always shown up as, and the person that you in love with. So it's just problematic as fuck, and so it's so prevalent because 22.5 trans women experience it. 22.4 binary women, non-binary women experience it. 19.2 trans men report sexual abuse in the hotline last year. And then on the average, 14.2 is LGBTQ survivors. The lack of support from like friends and family and like those barriers to support services is the biggest reason why a lot of people don't report it. I went back and forth about if I was going to report it. Literally, had he woke up, been on a different type of time, been more apologetic, I would have just swept it under the rug. I would have just went along with the program. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that he showed me who he was because the next time it could have been a lot worse. But that support is so needed. Had I not had loving friends to care enough about me to say am I all right, to check on me, to help me get rid of some of the damaged things, to constantly be that reassurance of like safety and am I good? I needed that. And that's a lot of people who don't have that. And it's just like more than anything, I want to shout out my friend Camille and Cartier for coming over to my apartment and helping me clean up because I appreciate y'all very much. And that shit was embarrassing. It was embarrassing a whole lot, but they didn't make me feel like it was my fault. They didn't make me feel like embarrassed or it was too much to handle or any of those things. They just came in a loving way and we got shit done. And I appreciate them very much. To all of my friends who reached out to me, I adore y'all. Like y'all are some fucking rock stars. And to Dolls Night Detroit for one throwing that bomb ass event, but also caring enough about my safety afterwards. So thank you for the GoFundMe. I will be posting that on my Instagram page so y'all can have it. And I'm just so appreciative to networks like that that really follow through in their mission. Like if they really say that they care about trans and non-binary folk, that is how you show up for people. Because baby, when I say damages, it was giving damages. And so y'all know in a lot of things, I with that being said, that is in a nutshell what happened because I know people are always curious about the violence trans people face, but y'all never really want to hear the real accounting stories. And y'all only care if the man is masculine and attractive and who he is. People have all these different narratives. I've been had people keep saying like, "Oh, was y'all really together or was y'all?" Baby, I'm in my 30s. I'm not trying to convince nobody. I'm not trying to make believe a fairy tale. It is what it is. Either you believe it or you don't. Like, I'm not trying to convince y'all. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to stay safe. Okay. But y'all know I like to leave y'all with things. And it's been some time since I've been able to like share y'all with something. So if y'all can see, this is our oral quick testing system that you can get at home from Corktown Health Center. For people who want to know their status, get tested, or just put it in their regular routine every 3 months or so. You can have this delivered at your front door for free at Corktown Health. This little number that you see right here at the top of the corner, that will be your testing number and ID. You can always reiterate that. And when you turn in your results, you can get a $20 gift card at Corktown. But in hindsight of all the bullshit, what I will say, Lips, is that I'm glad that that thing revered itself at the end of 2023. So when I think about my year, if that's how it had to go up in smoke, I'm okay with that because I had a really good year. I highlight that Spirit of Detroit Award. I was able to go to Jamaica. I was able to connect with a lot of amazing people. A lot of amazing guests came on to the show. Like a lot, I walked to a fashion show. Like there was so many highlights. So I can't. The biggest thing, I cannot let someone who did not give me joy take away my joy. So a lot of my friends were just like, "How are you handling this so well?" Because what can I do with it? You know, there will be relationships that I be in that don't work out. There will be people who dislike you, try and harm you, want to taint your reputation. But what do you do with that? Do you keep letting them win? Do you keep giving them your power? Or do you simply move on, learn the lesson, and grow from it? That's what I'm choosing to do in all areas. In all areas. Like, I know a lot of people will question me when it comes to how I move forward in relationships. But I'm the type of person, if you do something that I dislike, A, I'll warn you. Two, we'll have the conversation. But after that, it's no null and void. It's no more. I don't have to keep talking and talking and talking. I'm leaving. I am leaving. I'm gone. There's no need to keep rehashing the same thing. And I wish everybody nothing. When I move on from a situation, a friendship, a relationship, I wish you nothing. The man who I'm leaving, I wish you nothing. The friends that I had to leave in 2023, I wish you nothing. You know, to the new up and coming haters that we'll have in 2024, I wish you nothing. I do not care enough to keep you on my mind or my radar. I simply just move forward in that way. And I hope that you could like learn and model that behavior to move on because it's so much energy that I feel like be lost and trying to show somebody you dislike them or you don't care for them no longer. I don't got to do that. Who about to do that? If you ever see me out, it's going to be a high and by. And that's where I'm going to leave it. But in the new year, I have so many goals with Mouthy that I want to achieve, right? Like one of the biggest things that I want to have more organizations come on and talk about the enriching work in which they do to support trans and non-binary people. I want to highlight Detroit in such a beautiful way because it's growing at such a magnitude that like I'm feeling like a stranger in my own city and it's beautiful to watch because it's always new locations to go to. It's new creatives that's like tearing it up. Like the storytelling, the poetry, the rapping, just everything. There's so many amazing, gifted, talented people here in the city. And I'm loving the new architect that is going around in the city when I'm seeing these new buildings and all the things. And there are new stories to be told for Mouthy. There are new experiences to gain, there are new collaborations, and I'm just excited to look forward to the future of what will be and to bring y'all all on this journey, especially going into something like going into this year. I'm very intentional about how I want to show up, who I want to spend my time and energy with moving forward. And I'm only supporting people who support me. I'm only loving people who love me. It's just that simple. I think in 2023, my biggest thing was I kept getting caught up in the regret of my emotions. Like, oh my God, I'm such a good person. Why can't people? Girl, fuck them people. Fuck them people. Them people don't care about you. They don't care enough about you as you think they do. And they don't even recognize what they've done to you actually hurt you. So move on. It is okay. Remove and release. That's all I'm doing is remove it and release it. And this year, I wanted to come back to Mouthy Mondays because it's the core of who I am. I started on Mondays. I feel like Mondays is a great way to come into the week. I want to stay original to that, but it's just going to be me being more unfiltered, me being more honest and telling y'all what's really going on. Because what I know is that when I was doing my PPO at the police station, there was nothing but females in there. And there's a high rate of women being abused by people who we love. And you don't have to necessarily talk about it or out your story like I did. But I think it's important to just be a vessel to other women that goes through this. I won't be the first, nor will I be the last, unfortunately. But what I can give you is hope. So I definitely want to give y'all a resource with first step. First step was really great to me in this whole process of allowing me to be able to talk and show up. Hi Trent, to talk and show up in a way that like didn't make me feel like a victim or that it was my own fault that this had happened to me. It just the reality is he's no villain. I'm no victim. It's just two people who loved each other that did not work out. So in that moment, I just recognized that this will be something that happened not only for myself, but any other two people who are trying to merge traumas, beliefs, um, yeah. So I want to give y'all that. Y'all can call a 24-hour hotline, which is 734-722-6800. And it's so important because even if you got a family, even if you got a pet, whatever the reason that keep you in a situation, um, thank you. I am okay. And I send so much love out to you as well. I think it is so important to see the people who love on you the most in moments, and I recognize that I am this year. Stop noticing the people who don't show up for you in those ways and how you would like and how you felt valuable to, but always honor the people who are right there that's reaching out, that's showing love. And I appreciate that, Trent. You was really somebody who I didn't think would reach out, but it was beautiful that you did. And I'm glad that I could return the same love to you because, like people always tell me, they was like, how's your heart doing? And I was like, you know what? My heart is bruised, but it's still feeling love. It's still beating love. I'm still a lover at the core of me. This experience did not break me. It has nothing but made me stronger and made me want to be more revered about how I go about it. It's the who's that I love and how I choose to love and like not choosing a guy who ain't got. You think you ain't got no, you if you ain't got, and it's just not all about financial things. Let me think that because I think one of the biggest things in destroying my property was that I valued things. And y'all, we're gonna have somebody come on because I do want to get to the what's next. The what next is I need to go on a spiritual journey. I need to go on some spiritual healing. And so I had asked for Black Trans Blessing to come on and really talk a little bit about what they have going on, especially in this time because it's so important. So, Jamie, you can bring them out. Hi, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hey.
so I was just telling the people about like what is next, and like one of these situations of coming out of this relationship is about trying to be in my spiritual growth and journey. And I still want to love, and my heart may be bruised, but it's not broken. I refuse to let it be broken. And I thought y'all would be the perfect people to come on and tell people about what y'all have going on, especially with most recent events. So introduce yourself, let the people know who y'all are, where y'all from.
Hello, hi. My name is Brianna Lee. I'm the co-founder and the co-director of Black Trans Blessings. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm in my nightgown robe.
Yay!
Um, yeah. Josiah, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
How you doing? My name is Josiah King. I am also the co-founder and the co-director of Black Trans Blessings as well. And we're hosting our first retreat in Florida. It's a healing retreat and also like a spiritual retreat at the same time. I matter of fact, I don't want to talk too much, so let me
No,
get
it's
to.
okay.
Go.
You gotta love a black man that
You
has someone
do?
the floor to speak, right?
Okay.
We're having a healing and spirituality retreat. We've seen like this last year, there's been like a lot of things happening, outside factors, and I feel like every time we get community together on any like grand scale, we always get folks together to come up front with their like activism or like what they're actually doing. And this retreat was so important that we actually found folks that needed this. We're actually really excited because we're going to continue to introduce African American forms of spirituality and allowing everyone to show up as they are inside of their spirituality. So, this retreat to us is so impactful because this is a retreat where it's not requiring a lot of work. It's literally giving a place for folks to have some type of peace and tranquility and just love and safety and just doing things that build with each other, like community building. And we're really going to use African American spirituality as a force that drives our healing. Um, and we're just going to enlighten Black trans folks about African American forms of spirituality and the ways in which they manifest in our life and how beautiful and transformative they could be for us.
Yeah, because like the one thing I'm very intentional about is that I did not want this situation to break my spirit. I did not want it to break my heart. I did not want to give up on love or black men. I do believe that he will find to be great with someone else in due time and do healing. But right now, I need to heal from what recently been there. So I thank y'all for creating a space where I can honestly start to heal and like use my spirituality and learn new things in my spiritual journey to be able to practice. So, it's always great for I always think about what I've been through now to be more open with other people who could be going through it. But also there may be somebody who need a healing process or be on a spiritual journey and they don't know where to get those resources from. They don't know where to start. And I thought y'all would be the perfect people to show people, for lack of better words. They can be able to reach out to y'all for y'all next retreat or whatever else y'all got going on.
Hashay.
Thank you so much. I like for me personally, I use a lot of African spirituality in my healing processes. I do spiritual baths every month. I talk to my Orishas all the time and stuff like that. I make spiritual baths for my family.
Yes.
Brianna helps me. Like I'm very big on that. So I'm excited that you get to experience this.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And so one final question that I have for y'all too is what has been currently giving y'all joy, because one of the biggest things is that I love that BTF have created this space for me to be able to be one of their partners. But one of the things they center is joy and liberation. So I just really want to know what has been giving y'all joy in this current season.
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
What has been giving me joy in this current season is finding my footing in my leadership. With the support of like Black Trans Fund, there's this certain type of confidence that I have. I think at one point it was very hard to be heard by bigger entities as
Yes.
far as like helping facilitate the things that we want to see and the changes that we want to see. And I think just having that support uh, has allowed us to do many things. And this will be our first retreat ever.
Woo!
And it will consist of Black trans people. And it has been something that has allowed me to see that there's a lot of power in who we are. Um, it's very scary. So it's made me very vulnerable. But the joy is seeing that in our own individuality, we have manifested and brought these things to life. And we're going to do the things that we said we wanted to do.
Yes.
And just coming full circle with it. So getting closer and closer to this retreat has brought me so much joy because it's like, this is something we've thought about since like 3 years ago. And just to know like it's right here. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. Like it's brought me so much joy because it's very important to have time to love on Black and brown trans people. And I would be remiss if I didn't bring up a Black trans woman that has passed away. Her name was Sasha Washington, and she's from NYC. She was an activist and a performer. She was a beautiful Black trans woman, and I didn't have enough opportunities to heal with her
Mm-hmm.
or to kick it with her outside of, you know, people being activists and us doing community work and rallying when it is important for us to rally. But to have that, to not be able to have space for her has just lit this fire under me that makes me feel like I need to be very intentional on the time that I'm taking with folks. And I
Hmm.
don't want it to just be around my activism. I want it to be around my sisterhood, the camaraderie, the companionship, the friendship, the love,
Yes.
the family. So yeah.
Thank you, Toya.
Thank you for this question. I
Of
love Black
course.
Trans Fund. What has brought me joy this year, actually just the new year. Normally during the year I'm just like, damn, it's a new year, same same thing, because we just going into literally the next day. So
Yeah.
this year I just decided to look at it differently and remember that it's a new year. We can do new things, we can better ourselves, we can heal one another, and just be confident this year. So I'm just excited to see what this new year upholds.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest thing is understanding that joy is a constant thing that I'm surrounded by if I choose to see it. And the biggest thing is that now that my vehicle is well, first let's go. Number one is that I'm alive and I'm safe. Or like that for me was like, okay, am I gonna make it into the new year? Like, bitch, I don't know. But to be here is a blessing and it's such joy. But also too to get back to myself. I've seen community members show up and show me love, and that's been great because a lot of times we'll talk to ourselves and convince ourselves that nobody loves or really appreciate or value us. So I'm I have so much gratitude in that support. Honestly, to not let this situation turn me bitter. Like I know Black women keep always playing with the, oh, she just bitter. I'm not bitter. I got a lot to be grateful for. I got a lot of things that it's just the beginning and it's your loss, baby. You thought I was feeling you? Okay, if on to the next. But so much joy has come into this work to be able to like not only use my platform for my voice, but to share it with each and every one of you and like also highlight the work that y'all doing. So it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Of course. Thank y'all for coming to kick it with me. And like I said, go check them out, go support them. We see that Trent said he gonna need an invite. So definitely connect with Trent and so y'all can collab and all those things. But
Yes.
yeah, thank y'all so much. And I'm gonna see y'all so soon in Florida. Y'all can
Yes.
be
I love
chilling
you
and
so much.
I
Thank you.
love you more.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
allowing
much
your
for tuning in.
platform.
Of
We really
course.
appreciate your platform. I think many folks that are Black and brown and trans and all in between, the multifaceted, expressions, we really do appreciate having you have this platform and allowing folks to speak. I don't know. It's very comfortable on this platform. It feels like I'm on a FaceTime call. Like, so I just love you so much.
I love you more.
I
Thank
truly believe in everything that you're doing.
you.
You are truly a voice of Detroit, the voice of Detroit.
Mm.
And I love you so much. And I
I
just wish
love you
you so
too.
much joy, so much love, so much prosperity, and just can't wait to be in like space with you.
Oh, you got me tingling. Thank you, twin.
I
And I
love
can't wait
you.
to see you. I love you too. So yeah. I'm gonna wrap it out with pearls of wisdom. Um, I would just say to anybody who is maybe struggling, you are not alone. You will experience something that no one should have to. Abuse of any kind is something that nobody should have to experience, whether, but there is people and places out there that can support you through it. You can get through it. And one of the biggest things I'm going to take away, because I hold myself accountable, I'm just going to love on myself a little bit more. I thought I was doing that, but the dick can kind of have you a little confused. um, okay, but I'm gonna love a little harder. Okay, and just knowing that like I am worth it. The white picket fence, the um positive affirmations, the tenderness, all the things that I imagine in my head that my partner is gonna show up and love me in. That is what I'm going to receive, and I'm not settling for anything less. Will we kiss more toes? Maybe, but eventually I will find my prince. And no, fuck that. I'll find my king. Okay. And with that being said, it's your girl, Miss Mouthy. Even when you what? Don't see me, you hear me. Till next time. Bye. Bye, y'all.